Holy God, that was painful. The guy was taking bags of crisps out of people's bags. A row on the Grand National. Yeah, let me tell you, that was rough. Hello everyone and welcome to Pleasure Beach Resort here in Blackpool, Lancashire, home to numerous iconic roller coasters, including the big one which is currently testing with staff rides. Looks like we've got one front, two back. Here she comes. It's looking like it will open today because the wind is pretty calm. It's a nice warm day, so hopefully she gets nice and warm with the wheels. Starts flying around. I'd love some fast rides on the big one today because I feel like I haven't had them in a while. And this thing's a beast when it's running fast. But yeah, it is Sunday the 20th of July. So we should be in for a relatively busy day. But I don't think it'll be anywhere near sellout. Because this park doesn't really sell out anymore, to be honest. It does get busy though, so we will see what the queues are like. But first, let's enter the park and see what they have to offer for us today. Right then, we're in the park, but holy God, that was painful. That security queue. Now I normally get here early to beat the security queue because I know it can be slow. But that was ridiculous. Literally got into the park about 5 minutes late, but I was in the queue at 9:45. So, and the reason it is that I was in the slowest queue, and the guy was taking bags of crisps out of people's bags, asking loads of questions. It's just not necessary at a park like this. Like, I understand bag checks, I understand making sure that people don't have anything sharp, because that is a problem, especially in the UK. I get that, totally get that, but when it comes to just the greedy, you know, no picnic policy, and the fact that they have no signs explaining what you're supposed to do when you get here, I'm going to quit moaning and I'm going to locate some rides. But I think I'm going to head to Nickland and go over the Pleasure Beach Express and get Streak out of the way because I am not queuing for that today. It's Rev. By then, that's Nick Streak done in a very quiet Nickelodeon land. Go and have a look at Icon, I think, see where we end up.
two behind the queue, shouldn't be waiting too long.
Bit of a painful one. The rain has started and it makes for an unpleasant ride on the big one. Still enjoyable, but unpleasant. Seeking refuge in the Pleasure Beach Express station. The rain continues to increase in its severity. The train did just leave, so I have to wait for it to do a full loop. But I do intend to go on the Express, rain or shine. So let's see what happens.
Passengers, please note that seat number 1 on the Pleasure Beach Express is not available. Unless you can drive the train, that is. Thank you.
For your safety, do not cross the track.
I don't fancy the log flume
Please
today.
stand behind the yellow line until the train has stopped
Pass on
at the
that
station. Once on board.
Following the bad news earlier that the Glasgow train will be delayed, unfortunately... passengers, but there will be no delays today.
Right, I fancy go on the rev. Classic Arrow shuttle loop. And the entrance is over here. You have to climb a big tower to get to it. And it shouldn't be too painful because the rain has eased off now, which is good. There's the abandoned dodgems, never to be seen again. Right, I'm on my way back to North Park because I'm going to go and check out Grand National and Launchpad, but I just thought I'd show this. We have got some arches over the future walkway here on the former Grand Prix site. I think you're still allowed in this bit, so go for a walk. Just to get a bit of a better angle here. What confuses me is why they've decided to dye the fountain blue. I find it a bit strange. But yeah, they're certainly taking their time building a path. Well, it's a set of paths that runs that way and also all the way around the fountain. I think there's a few little offshoots. But yeah, there's plenty of little building materials here. They've done what looks to be a flower bed in the making there. Presentation wise, really good. You know, I'm all for a bit of TLC around the park, and I think there isn't enough room here for a major new ride. I mean, if there was a major new coaster that was to kind of go on the Avalanche site, then you could put a few footers in here, but chances are that this area will probably remain open anyway once the ride was built, hypothetically, and it would just have a few footers in the middle of it, and the sort of station and the rest of the layout could be potentially over there if there was to be a major new coaster, for example. But yeah, always interesting to see. I actually had a front row on the Grand National on the red train, and yeah, let me tell you, that was rough. I think the front row is possibly the worst row on there. I didn't actually know that. I thought it would be bad just based on the fact that it's a wheel seat, but something about the fact that you get literally pushed into the jolts and you're like the first to experience it, yeah, it's pretty horrible. But honestly, the rest of the rows are fine. People who say it's too rough are wrong. But yeah, that front row's too rough. Stay away from that. Jesus. So I've just come out of Loki's bar after demolishing a lovely bit of chicken. And the rain has started again, so it's going to be a wet one. The poncho may have to come out. So I managed to get a launch pad just then. I did walk straight on it and then got evac'd because there was obviously a weighing issue or something, which does happen on launch pad pretty frequently. If it doesn't weigh it quite right, then they'll take people off and potentially reshuffle them and things like that. But yeah, pretty common thing. It only went down for about two or 3 minutes. It just sent one empty, and then we were straight on the next one. Yeah, the kick at the top is definitely, it warms up throughout the day. It's a bit like a roller coaster, really. So if you really want to get a bit of air time on that, come on it later in the day. It's currently about 2 o'clock, so I'd say it's pretty much at its peak at the moment. Yeah, solid ride. I really am a fan of the new refurbishment of Launchpad. Obviously, formerly Ice Blast, formerly PlayStation The Ride. It's had 3 names now. But yeah, I'm glad they kept it. It's a good ride. Far better than it used to be anyway. I think I'm going to go do some dark rides now, to be honest. So I'm going to go look at Ghost Train and see what the queue's like for that. Yeah, I don't normally queue for that ride unless I'm desperate to do it, which I'm not today, so I've actually given that a miss for now. I'm going to head over to Wallace. I love all the dark rides here at the Pleasure Beach. They're all amazing, to be honest, and this is no exception. It is a repurposed ride system. It used to be the Gold Mine ride. It is now Thrill-O-Matic.
Cheese. We'll go somewhere where there's cheese. Good job I greased the bearings. To blast off. No crackers, Ronnie. We were out in the crackers. Hold on, Ronnie. Hold on. It's my turn for breakfast this morning, Ronnie. Porridge today, lad. Tuesday. Is it supposed to do that? Don't worry, madam. Everything's okay.
That's broken. That's unfortunate.
Where'd you get that from? That's my machine. I've got patent pending on that. system. Oh, that's quite enough. You'll be hearing from the solicitor about it. Your 6,000 man, capable of over 125 RPM. That's rapid fun. Hang in there, Gromit. Everything's under control. Ah, good boy, Gromit, man. Well done. Well, that went as well as could be expected. Well done, Chuck. Oh, that was riveting. Oh, that was riveting.
Make sure you check out my little video that I did during the fireworks on the last late night riding, where we were sat pretty much here, and the seats are pretty good, not right here but over there on the left hand side of the ice cream stall. That's where you want to be sitting if you're on this side, but obviously a lot of people do prefer the Big Dipper side, which is fair enough. I'm gonna go look at doing the Big Dipper now, I think. Normally gets a very big queue, but it's not very busy here today. The crowds have really gone down. I think the rain has scared a lot of people off, so not too bad. It's good for me, but it's bad for the park really, isn't it? So, well, this is going to be the second queue that I'm bailing out of. Yeah, sod that on one train. Absolutely not. I'm just going to do Icon again, I think, just to pass a bit of time. Because last I checked, that was on like 5 minutes. Granted, that was a while ago. But if that's true, then that's brilliant. Might as well just lap it for a bit. Hopefully it's warmed up, because I went on it first thing this morning and obviously it's a little bit slower, so hopefully it's had an opportunity to warm up. See what that queue's like. Oh yeah, that is 5 minutes, if that, straight on. I think I'll be giving Steeplechase a miss today. I definitely do not fancy waiting for a 2-lane service on a ride that is generally just uncomfortable. It's fascinating to watch though. And of course the classic Arrow, it's one of the rarest rides out there. I think it's one of a kind, at least at the moment. Unlike these classic Arrow hypercoasters, which there are a few of. And this one happens to be one of the less good, unfortunately. Well, here's something that bears looking at. Skyforce has had its seats returned. I highly doubt that it means it's going to reopen, as people have been suggesting might be the case. Definitely getting sold. That's what that indicates to me. I think they're showing a potential buyer. The ride in a functional state. Obviously, it's missing some restraints. It's got most of the restraints on. It's missing about 4 here at the front. But yeah, all the seats are on, all the wings are on, and it's been like tied precariously to the main sort of strut there for some reason, with like a bit of rope. And yeah, there's pallets and stuff about, so there's obviously been things going on. But yeah, I suppose only time will tell. I'm hoping it gets ripped out, because it's a bit of a pointless flat ride. It's not very intense, and we're gonna get a Victus soon, which is going to be a world-class flat ride. Much better than this thing. But yeah, very interesting. Okay then, I think I've seen all I need to see today here from Blackpool Pleasure Beach. And as a result, I'm going to go and stick myself on Valhalla. I did check the app when I was at South Park, and it said advertised queue of 10 minutes. Let's go and have a look at what the queue actually looks like and make our own minds up. Might be a little bit longer, but it's only about 3:30, so don't mind waiting a little bit for Valhalla. Poncho time. That's the first time I've seen that, I have to say. Usually the hose will not be effective. So the blue mop bucket of doom has had to come out. And a decent run through there on Valhalla to end the day. Didn't do too bad either with the wetness. I was mid-boat, which is really where you want to be to get the least wet, although you will still get absolutely drenched if you don't have any protection. Luckily I had a poncho, so all is good and well. The front row is really the worst on there in my experience, specifically on the left hand side, I think, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, absolutely drenched on there. The back row I think is equally problematic, because I think you get a lot of the drag at the back. When it drags against the trough and slams against the walls at the back, it tends to splash a lot of water out the trough onto the riders. So, and I've always noticed that happening more in the back anyway, although it does still happen to a certain degree on the rest of the boat. Operations wise, there was about 4 boats stacked in the station when I was boarding, which I've never actually seen before since the old Valhalla. Normally you'll have like 1 boat, maybe 2 going through the station, but they had 4 boats and they were all stopped whilst they were vacuuming the water, so it looks like they're struggling maybe with the vacuum system. Because as you can see from one of my clips, there was a lady with a mop bucket, which I've never seen before. Well, that was bizarre. Look at that guy. He doesn't know what he's in for. He's screwed. Poor guy. Oh yeah, Valhalla's always entertaining. Effects-wise, it was okay. There was no big hammers and there was no ring of fire. Other than that, everything seems to be working. So fire arrows are one of the really unreliable ones. They were on, and all of the fire effects in the finale, other than of course the ring of fire, were on. So I really can't complain about that. It's decent. I mean, we know what to expect from Valhalla now. We know we're never really going to get a full run through again like we were on its opening year after the refurbishment. Or at least it's very, very rare, exceedingly rare anyway. But honestly, if you can get most of the effects working on one of your run-throughs, it's still a world-class ride. It's still an amazing experience, and it's definitely the best ride here at Blackpool Pleasure Beach. The best non-coaster ride, certainly. Anyway, the best dark ride, possibly in the UK too. Here comes another boat now. Yeah, pretty happy with that. I think I've seen all I need to see here at Blackpool Pleasure Beach today. I think I'm going to head home now. It's been a pretty good day operationally. I've not really seen any problems. The only thing that kind of confused me was at the gate this morning, where they were seemingly prioritising confiscating people's bags of crisps instead of just letting guests through. It wasn't really a huge deal because there wasn't a massive queue to get in this morning. It's not a sellout day by any stretch, so it wasn't really the end of the world, but it's still just like a confusing thing, especially for a park that's struggling. I don't understand why you would effectively ruin a guest's day at the gate, especially if you're really trying to get your attendance up. It's kind of not the sort of thing that you want to see. Yeah, I found it a bit disappointing, to be honest, but other than that, great day, great operations, and great rides, as per usual. So yeah, we're going to leave it there now. Thanks for watching, everyone, and I'm going to go and dry off in my car now. Goodbye.